If you're wondering how to know if someone is sent from God or how God reveals a future spouse to you, either a man or a woman, like if you're looking for a wife or you're looking for a husband, and you are confused as to how God is going to reveal, who this person is. A lot of us are confused. A lot of us are like questioning, like, how am I going to know that this person is from God? And I believe that God has showed that in so many ways in His Word. There are too many examples of very great relationships that God brought together. I believe, for one, that God can orchestrate a relationship, that He can bring two people together. It's very possible. Not that He would impose Himself on them, but He can shine light on this person and He can give you insights of what it's like to be with this person. I don't even want to go into too much details. Let's just dive into this video. And hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be talking about the book of Genesis, chapter 24, and we're going to be looking at the how God brought Rebecca to Isaac, Abraham's son, and how it was so orchestrated, and how God works, and it possibly can be reflected in our lives too. And if we have these pointers in mind, we'll be able to discern and know when someone is really sent from God, and how to know when someone is sent from God, if this person is actually for us. So let's get started. We're going to look at the first, because I put this in segments, like it's so much to unpack from, like this chapter says so much, but I'm just going to, not because I don't want this video to be too long or too stretchy, I'm just going to put them in segments and just talk about some key points that stood out to me and like how much it blew my mind. So for the first part, from verse 1 to let's say from verse 1 to 4, Abraham sends his servants to go and look for a wife for Isaac. And he tells him to not get a wife from Canaan, where they were sojourning in or staying temporarily in. He should go to his father's house and look for a wife from there. And yeah, so his servant swears to Abraham that he's going to actually go there, and he would not differ from whatever it is. First of all, it takes a lot for someone to trust such a big tax on someone who is just a servant. So it means that this person in question was really someone that Abraham could really, really trust with his life for something as important as a life-changing importance. What am I saying? For something as life-changing as this, he put on his servant to do for Isaac. So now, but when we read a little bit further, we see that even though Abraham has given this servant this instruction, Abraham didn't tell the servant how to go about getting this so-called woman from this particular part of, his place or his family. He just tells him to go to the place and look for someone within their family. Now, imagine someone telling you to go to, for instance, go to the US and find me a wife. Where are you even going to begin? And then you have to find someone from maybe a particular city, say Texas, for instance, and then what are you going to do? Like, you just walk into Texas and then out of 1 billion girls, you're just going to know? Of course, he knew at this point that this tax is not something that he can use his own understanding for. So he had to seek the only person that can give him wisdom, which was God. And he prayed to God and he asked God. I will just read out the prayer. He said in verse 12, he said, then he said, this is the King James Version, yeah. So I'm old school like that. Sometimes I have the NLT version, but then I always like to read from the King James Version, because it just gives me like this very authentic feel of what the person or what God is trying to say. However, so in verse 12 he says, then he said, O Lord God of my master Abraham, please give me success this day and show kindness to my master Abraham, Behold, here I stand by the well of water, and the daughters of the men of the city are coming out to draw water. Now let it be that the young woman to whom I say, please let down your pitcher, that I may drink, and she says, drink, and I will also give your camels a drink, let her be the one you have appointed for your servant Isaac. And by this I would know that you have shown kindness to my master. In this verse, we can see that he's praying this prayer. So for guys out there, let me talk to the guys now. You are looking for a wife and you do not know, like, sometimes apart from physicality, oh, she should look like this, she should look like that. Some of the things that in this world of so many beautiful, good women, because they are not all bad women, I mean, they're good Christian, God-fearing women out there, in this pool of God-fearing, beautiful, enterprising, everything. But then, okay, so all of them are there, but all of them can be your wife. One person has to click, one person has to be the one that fulfills, that which you're looking for in terms of God's destiny and so many other things that you're looking for. So how do you now differentiate and discern who this woman is in this pool of good women? Because we're not talking about the world anymore. We are way past that. This prayer is something that I think every man should pray about. I think setting parameters and being distinct with what you want, that's kind of like clearly says that this is what you're looking for exactly, that is distinct, from other things. Not, oh God, let she be a God-fearing woman. Like, there are so many God-fearing women. Oh God, let she be hardworking. There are so many hardworking. That's not distinct. You could pick something specific that that this is not what every woman would be doing. So that way that when you spot it, you would know that this is someone that God is speaking to your heart for or to. For instance, you can say, oh, I don't know. I don't know what men are looking for, but let's say you're looking for a woman that is in the children's ministry and she has like the specific talents with women that take care of people in disability or in disabilities for children or something like that. Just something specific that is not really like narrow down your search to something that really speak to you. You know what? I don't know what it is. You know what? And then if you do that, it is easier for you to be able to just know when the right person comes, that this person is definitely from God, because it's not everyone that has this distinct thing that you clearly asked God for. So that's one. So moving on, he had not even finished saying that prayer, and boom, Rebecca comes along, just sweeping away, coming to do her thing. Now, ladies, speaking to you guys, I feel that when God positions us, when God is positioning us for the right person, I think most of the time is always around we just minding our business, doing what we're doing most, like either we're at work, like just minding our business. If we look at, for instance, Esther in the Bible, she was literally just minding her business as a good citizen, as a daughter, when she was found and then she was brought before the king and all that. If we also look at Ruth, she was minding her business, working in the field before Boaz found her. I don't feel it is biblical for us to, be obsessive about someone or to stalk them or to throw ourselves out there. I mean, you're a queen. You are a queen and you are supposed to be sought after. A woman is supposed to be so much not available to everyone, not inaccessible, but not in a way that she's also like, literally desperate. I don't know the word to put it. So that was what Rachel was doing. She was just coming to do her women duties. She was coming to the well to fetch water. She was not thinking, oh, today I'm gonna find my husband. She was just pretty much doing her woman duties, and then she was found. And then we move on, and then we see in verse 16, now the young woman was very beautiful to behold, a virgin, no man had known her, and she went down to the well, filled her pitcher, and came up. Now, ladies, this is for you, because a lot of times I know that a lot of women who call themselves women of God or firebrand sisters, I know in the social media space it doesn't look that way, but in the real world, a lot of people neglect themselves in the name of being spiritual. And that is not God, actually, because God wants us to also care for ourselves, not in an obsessive way, not in a way where we are carried away by just our looks or just whatever, but in a way that it balances out. Even when we are fasting, the Lord says, shower, anoint yourself with oil so that people don't even know you're fasting, for you to look still presentable. Well, you see a lot of sisters out there, they are not caring about themselves physically because they are just so into the whole spirituality, blah, blah, blah thing. Good, but not good. You need to also look at yourself, because men are not blind. They are visual people. They love, they are moved by what they see. We are moved by what we hear, but most men are moved by what they see. And so if at first they are not going to see prayerful sister written on your forehead at first, they're going to see you and see if you fit in. And generally, I think every human, not just men, wants someone that is at least neat, and is well kept or well groomed. Nobody wants someone with long, unkept fingernails or brown teeth that stinks, or you don't brush your teeth, or you don't do your hair, or you don't make any effort to at least smell good. All I'm saying is that you should just make effort in the little way that you can to look decently, modest, and just put together. If you're someone who is still going through a modesty journey, this is the time to start working on that, because no man of God will want someone who is half naked to be in his arm. So you need to learn how to dress, need how to present yourself, and basically that. So yeah, so the first thing that the man sees in Rachel is her looks. No lies, no back corner there. She was beautiful. Then we move on to the second thing that he looks out for after seeing her. So, and the servant ran to meet her and said, "Please, let me drink a little water from your pitcher." So she said, "Drink, my lord." Then she quickly let her pitcher down to her hand and gave him a drink. And of course, we read further down, and then we see that he asks her to also give his camels water to drink. So now the second thing from what I'm seeing here from a man's perspective, now when you're looking for a wife, first she checks your physicality box. Boom, great. Next is what's her character like, what's her person like what is she like. I'm not talking about praying and fasting. I'm talking about her person. Is she someone that you can relate with? Is this someone you can hold a conversation with? Is this someone you can communicate with? Is this someone that you can be friends with? Is this someone that understands you? Now that may be your own thing that you're looking out for, but this man was looking out for her character in terms of, I don't know, selflessness. I think he was trying to find out if she's selfless, and he tested her in that way, and she passed the test. And then she didn't only just give him water to drink. We could even see from her tone, "Drink, my lord," so respectful. And then of course the feminist women here are not going to like this, because they're going to be like, "Oh no, I cannot do stuff like that. Why would I water your camels? I mean, I'm a woman, you're a man. Okay, fine, you can have the pitcher, just draw water for yourself, and I will just stand and wait. When you're done, I will go with my pitcher." And then that would have been an X, because I think naturally we all know, yes, it wasn't supposed to be. But when you are a woman of character and you just are nice, you're a good person, because the world has made good women now, or nice women now, feel like they they shouldn't be nice to people, that people are going to take them for granted or something. But the person that would need that niceness, the person that will value it like gold, the person that is praying for that exact character trait that you have, that like that trait that you think everybody's taking you for granted for, someone is praying that if only she can have this, she's my answer to my prayer. So what I'm saying is, just keep being good, keep being that nice person, keep showing up for others, keep caring for those little ones, keep giving, keep helping the motherless or the childless or the orphans, whatever it is you do selflessly, that maybe people are taking you for granted or don't even see the value in it. Someone is praying for the exact trait, just like Rebecca, and God showed up for him. Moving forward, now Rebecca checks the character part for him. Now the next thing he looks out for is the part of Abraham's criteria. Where is she from? How does she fit in? But for me, in order to put this in the real world, like I would say that, okay, for a man now, he's like, okay, she's beautiful, she has a good character, or I like her vibe, or whatever it is that is going on with her. Third thing is, how does she fit into my plans? How does she fit into my destiny? How does she fit into what God has called me to do? Talking about a man that knows exactly what God has called him to do, that knows his role as a priest over his home, that knows that he's going to be a leader and a head over his home. And when you know this, it is easier to find someone who will suit it. A lot of times, like 1 or 2 times, I've gone on a few dates, and those dates, the first thing, one of the things I ask them is, so what is your destiny? What has God called you for? You know, and that is usually the first, like not the first question, but usually one of the most important questions I ask them. Because if you do not know what your destiny is, then how would I be, how would I play a role in being a helpmate to you? So how would I be a helpmate to you? How would I serve you? How would I support you, and all of those things? So if as a man you don't even know what your destiny is, then I think you shouldn't be looking for a wife yet. I think the first thing you should be doing is to find out what God has called you to do, find out your destiny, find out how you are going to do it. Then finding someone that will help you makes sense, because and then it makes you to narrow down your search to the right person, because you already know like exactly what God has called you to do. And that's exactly what this man did. Rebecca was not just any girl that was nice and beautiful. She was a girl exactly from where Abraham wanted her to come from. So it means that was like a very perfect fit, a very perfect match that suits the family. So that was like a 1, 2, 3, check, check, check. Beauty, okay, character, check. She fits into the plan, check. So yeah, that was basically it. I feel that is the most important. Those are the 3 ground things that a man should be looking for when he's looking for a wife. And then from a woman's perspective, now if we read further down, we see that Rebecca tells him all of these things, still in a very respectful manner. And then he pulls out some gold and gives her and all that. And then she runs to go and tell her family member. I will get to that shortly. But before that, men, I'm coming back to you again. Just because you found someone that checks all your boxes doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't, be nice to her, like give her a gift. I know I'm not saying buy her gold or diamonds or any of those things, but just being like showing some kind of affection, taking her on a nice date, buying her flowers. A lot of very spirit cuckoo brothers are very stiff and unromantic and do not think that they should do too much just because someone is maybe sent from God for them, and they just feel that anything they do is going to get by. I think they should still make the effort to woo her, to chase after her, to like get her attention. Women generally love gifts, just love being giving nice stuff. And like I said, it doesn't have to be expensive. It's the thought that matters. So that was just like a little side note there. And we move forward and we see that Rebecca doesn't keep this to herself. She's not calling her friends. She's not running to her friends. Who does she run to? Her family. Ladies, when a man is approaching us or approaching you in this light, I really feel that family is very, very important in terms of like, you know, just making the right decision. Because when you have a good family, you have a God-fearing family. I know that not all families are the same, and we may not have certain relationships with certain members of our families. But if we do, thank God. If we do have that, you have good. You can always run to them. Sometimes your family may not be your biological family. It could be your pastor or your pastor's wife, or like your pastor can be like your spiritual father and mother. But just having like this head over you or covering over you sort of just gives you like this kind of covering, you know, just doesn't make you so exposed like that to certain things. She runs and she tells her family, oh, there's this man, this is what he said, this is what he did, this is what he gave me, you know. And then instantly they're like, oh, bring him in. Another sign for me that when a man is sent from God is that literally I feel that everyone just kind of like agrees with everything. I'm not saying that some relationships that were actually designed by God sometimes come with oppositions, and that could be something orchestrated by the devil. But most times when it is like everybody is like, thank God for this person, it's most likely that that person is sent from God. Because like God just makes everything just smooth and easy, and I think that's how God wants it to be anyways. So that was what it was. And Rebecca brought him, and then he met her family. He tells them how he met her. Now, ladies, that was that same day. I'm not saying that when a man sees you today, he's going to see your family today. But it just shows the intentionality behind it. Like a man that is sent from God is not going to waste your time. I really think that even in all the arranges, like all the marriages throughout the Bible, I have never seen a relationship where somebody was courting someone for 7 years or 5 years. You know, the worst I've seen or the best I've seen was Esther and the king, where she had to be prepared for 1 year. I mean, that's like the longest I've seen. The rest has been like really short. I'm still studying the Bible. I'm not perfect. I'm not like a Bible scholar. Maybe there's someone somewhere, but I know for sure that God is not someone that likes to like drag relationships for long. I feel that he makes it, courtship shouldn't be like so long. I mean, a man that's sent from God is like, this is like a mission for him. He wants to have you in his life. He wants to make you his wife, and he wouldn't want to keep you on the stand like or unsure of what his intentions are. Like if you're in a relationship and you're asking him like, so where is this going, and then he doesn't even know, then I think you're not in the right relationship. A man that is sent from God knows exactly what and where he's going, and he knows exactly what he wants from you. And then meeting your family is a great step in showing that these are his intentions and he's not wasting time. So that's like another tip for you. Anyways, so we go further down, and then we see along the line, he tells them about how he met Rebecca, you know, tells them all of these things. I'm really trying to rush because my battery is like really low. And so we move forward, and then we see that Rebecca is, you know, she's given to Isaac later on down the line, and the man goes and he states his intentions, like I said, and then he pays her bride price or stuff, and then everything is done officially. And she was not just, you know, chunked over to him. They asked her, would you want to go with this man, you know, and then of course she said yes, you know. And moving forward, we see that when Isaac finally sees her, he loved her. I honestly feel like this is the last take on this topic. I honestly feel that any relationship that is sent from God generally comes with this supernatural love. It's not even about looks anymore. It's just this peace than the worldly standard. I feel that the worldly standard is full of lust and so many other things that are irrelevant. When it comes from God, there's just this supernatural love this person has for you that comes within them. And it's not just about like just love for your looks. Like I said, it's love for your soul, literally. Like the way my dad loves my mom. Like we've been married for more than 30 something years. And each time my dad says he loves her, not because of anything, but just from her soul. There's something about her. And that's because he loves her through God's eyes. When a man loves you through God's eyes, or a woman loves you through God's eyes, it's totally different from when they love you through the world's eyes. Because there's imperfections. Not that you are perfect, but God makes you perfect before them. There's this feeling of I'm not worthy to have you kind of thing. Either from both sides. The guy is feeling I'm not worthy to have you. She's feeling I'm not worthy to have you. So there's just this back and forth that now makes them feel so dependent on each other and just click. And they just forever have this kind of bond that just makes them in awe of each other and just make them love each other more through God's eyes. So it is very necessary to involve God in your relationship, in seeking for a spouse. You would never go wrong. And if you follow these 3 steps from a man's point of view, you're looking at how she looks. How does she look? Does she fit the vibe for you? Secondly, what is her character like? How does she relate with other people? How does she relate with you? You have your own checks on that. Everybody personally has what it is that clicks for them in that area. And then thirdly, how does she fit into God's plan for my life? Yeah, so that is it, guys. Thank you so much for listening in and for watching this video about my take on the story of Rebecca. I will be doing more videos like this. Maybe not just a marriage, but other things like how to find working on destiny. I'm going to do like a 7-part series on how to know God's purpose for your life. I'm going to be featuring the best author that I've read. It's going to be like a surprise. I'm going to talk about him in the coming videos, but because it really helped me on my journey to knowing what my purpose is and how to walk in that purpose. I'm just going to share that because I know that a lot of us, both male and female, some of us out there are still not sure of what God has called us to do. And that is the most important thing above every other thing, not marriage, not wealth or anything, but serving God. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I really love you guys. See you in my next video. Bye.